You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, Zoom the TBT, and tonight we have Locked In Elite, Monte Morris and Tyonte Robertson. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing tonight?
Going well. It's good to hear from you, Andrew.
I know.
We doing good.
It's funny. I'm a little charged up. Too much iced coffee. Tyonte is asking, Monte was asking what I'm drinking. I'm trying to stay up. It's just one of those crazy things. Too much work day. Too much work day. Now, talking about work. So, Monte, can you talk a little bit about how you got connected to TBT in the first place?
After my rookie year, I spent most of the time in the G League. I was a two-way affiliate with the Denver Nuggets, so I was back and forth, up and down. And that summer, Chris Paul invited me to his camp along with Jamal Murray. And we was out there around TBT time, and he had his team in the field, and they was playing out there in North Carolina. So I just liked what he did and how he gave everybody opportunity. He was engaged the same way I'll be. So from there, I always wanted to do something the same and similar.
Now, that's awesome, too. And obviously, you're in a good place to be able to help a TBT team. Now, Tyonte, first of all, having an NBA established vet like Monte Morris helping out, what does that bring as credentials to your program this year, this TBT cycle?
Not only just my credentials, it's a good look for the TBT. You know what I'm saying? Them having somebody, like Monte, have a team inside there. It's a good look as far as marketing. It's a good look for Monte. You know what I'm saying? With him being, good friends already with Chris Paul, it's a good look for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And it shows that, people in the NBA is being dialed in and supporting Chris Paul at that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good look. It's a good thing overall.
I hear your answer, but I'm just distracted by that beautiful light behind Monte's house, the light behind his head, because that looks like a wedding ring, basically. See, that's the kind of thing I got to design. Like, people who follow the show know my day job as an architect, and I know what those lights cost to wire. I know what those lights are about, those big ring lights.
The house is amazing out there. You got to see the outside deck. I've been there.
Where you live, Monte?
Just Central Phoenix.
Central Phoenix, and what's the address? No, I'm kidding. I'm screwing you. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna rob Monte. No. So yeah, I do use the light just like that in a commercial conference room one. Actually, I did one for L'Oreal like 15 years ago. It's like a jewel encrusted thing. I just love the light. So anyway, looking at this, Monte. Right. So first of all, like, you got a pretty good roster you're coming into, a pretty established program. Tyonte's run a good team number of years now. They've been pretty hardcore. So, like, what have you learned about TBT now that you have a role as a booster, co-GM kind of role, whatever your role really is? Exactly. What have you learned about TBT once you got your hands really into it?
I would say you just need a group of guys where egos are not an issue. You need guys who gonna make the right pass, right play, and just go out there and play together and put it all on the line. This is opportunity. I've seen TBT give guys another outlet after TBT. I've seen guys go get signed places and also get a shot back in the league or things like that. So if we can get that and understand, ain't nobody bigger than the program and we hold everybody to the same standard, I feel like we should be in a good position.
It's funny you mentioned the extra opportunities out of TBT, because a lot of guys had on that G League, and you went through the G League to get to the NBA. You did it the hard way, and you actually went up through the G League and made a real live NBA contract. Everybody remembers the sort of patron saint of TBT recently was when Kiefer Sykes hit that big shot to win the million for Syracuse. That next year, he was Indiana Pacer the whole year. So I mean, you can make the TBT to NBA pipeline does exist. It is a real thing. And if you don't make that, you're in front of every European scout who still has. Look, if the worst case is you make hundreds of thousands of euros, that's not a bad life, man. Even then, that's a good deal.
No tax. Tax be killing us. So no tax.
First time I covered TBT was in 2018. I'm a huge Memphis fan. Middle of the show knows I'm a huge Memphis Tigers fan. And I interviewed Adonis Thomas. I interviewed AT. And I was like, what do you guys go? He goes, bro, no taxes. It's just cash. I go, excuse me? So, I mean, they cover the tax bill. So, I mean, I mean, $1 million there is $2 million here. I mean, it gets really attractive for NBA vets at some point. Live on a beach, live in a great city. It's not a bad deal.
Nah.
Right, Tyonte, for sure. Talking about travel. Not talking about travel plans, obviously. So, Tyonte, talk a little bit about how the team this year is coming together.
I mean, it's coming well together. We got a lot of guys that's actively playing in some top leagues in Euro. You know,
Mhm.
as we speaking on that, we do got some guys that's actually, you know, playing in Euro League. We're gonna be pretty solid. I think we're gonna make a good run. You know what I'm saying? We got till July 16 to add at least like one or two more pieces. But besides that, though, I think we're pretty solid. You know, the main thing for real and learning, it's just really getting guys like Monte said. You know, to not have a crazy ego. You know what I'm saying, and having guys buy in. You know what I'm saying? That'd be the main thing is having guys to buy in and be on the same page because you can have a loaded down roster. You know what I'm saying? You could be the best team in TBT on paper, and if you don't got guys on the same page and that's bought in, you know what I'm saying? Shit, you know you can go out there and get your head cut off. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it happen.
Well, especially last year too, because you guys remember last year, like Red Rose Thunder made a run, Eberline Drive made a long way run. I
Exactly.
mean, you had some teams making big runs that came from absolutely nowhere. In fact, I
Exactly.
believe it was the Cincy. You guys were in the Cincy region last
Yeah,
year, I
we
think, right?
yeah we was in the Cincy region. We
And
we
that whole
beat
thing
them.
was insanity. Like Red Rose won the thing, and I think they were like a 100-to-1
Where
shot
they
going in.
went to, they made it
They made Philly.
to. No.
No, they made the game before Philly. They
Yeah,
lost to
they
a
made
team
it to the
going to
region
Philly.
championship.
Yeah. Which is a crazy run.
And that just goes to show that you know they didn't have the most talented team. If you got
They
guys
played
that's just
together though. Yeah,
right, if you got guys that's hungry enough and willing to be on the same page, you know what I'm saying? You see where it'll take you.
Yeah,
definitely.
so that's kind of where I'm shaping the roster, you know, and I'm taking things back to the roots. I mean, I no better place to do it but go grab my old high school coach, Mike Williams. He got 6 state championships, state titles.
Yeah.
He coming in with that grit, and he can relate to the players. You know, he's a motivation coach, and he gonna, you know, if we about to match up against the team, he giving us that edge. He's the guy that's going. He watch film. He loves ball. You know, I went 55-1 with him in 2 years in high school, playing against the top.
You lost a game.
Yeah. I lost to Khalil Felder, them Detroit Persian. Yep.
You should be Monte. You should be ashamed of yourself.
But yeah, man. So I feel like we got a good situation going on, and I feel like everybody will be bought in. One thing they gonna tell is that we a family. You know, we gonna move as one. We gonna be professional, and everybody just gonna play hard. You know, whether we win the whole thing or not, they gonna next year. I feel like a lot more people gonna be trying to reach out playing because we got a lot planned. But they just gonna see the family and just how we move and how everything is just organized. So.
I want to stay there for me. This has been very interesting. You said no matter how we do this year, we're going to play hard, and so
Yeah.
next year. So you see this as a multi-year commitment by you. You want to be
Uh,
you're a TBT believer.
For sure. I think it's something huge. I mean, I have a lot of guys, a lot of friends who ain't blessed to play on TNT and do that stuff. So if I'm able to be in a position just like me making it to the NBA and taking care of my family and putting them in better light, and I got the opportunity to give it back to my friends, my boys that work hard, no matter how hard they work, and they just don't get the opportunity. This is an opportunity to showcase all the hard work and the hunger. So I'm 110%, you know, locked in on that.
That's awesome here. By the way,
Hmm.
TNT, rest in peace. They're done with basketball now. It's gonna suck, man. I can't.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I got nothing but love for the concept of Amazon having part of the deal, but you can't tell me that Amazon's going to treat it as lovingly as TNT. That's not a great day for the NBA. But says me, says a guy who knows nothing and no one should listen to. By the way, let's be very clear about that. Now, Tyonte, obviously, you got this thing going on. You got this team. Obviously, you guys have had some success. So, like, what's it going to take to get some wins this year? Like, what's the team really got to do to advance?
Just what I talked about. Just having guys on the same page, and it's just gonna boil down to simple as this, because you know we are professional players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's just about being on the same page and who wants it more. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Not having an ego. You know what I'm saying? We go out there, everybody professional on both sides of the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's just about who gonna be on the same page and who gonna follow suit, and just stand together.
that makes
That,
sense.
that's what it's gonna
Now,
be about.
that totally makes sense. Monte, a little bit about this. Like since you did go the hard way through the G League, and a lot of the players who playing TB where you were once, and you made it. You're an NBA veteran. You're an established NBA player now, which is what a lot of guys at TBT are trying to get to. So how much of a sort of inspirational sort of thing does that help you bond with these players? Because like a lot of NBA players come in and they're immediately they're high draft picks. They get the roster spot. They go to Vegas to screw around. They don't go to grind summer league. Like you went to summer league with things to prove when you left college. So like, how does that help you connect to the quality of player that you're going to see in TBT?
Like I said, a lot of guys on the roster trying to get where I'm at, and it's nothing better than me already been experienced. And I feel like I've been a guy who got drafted 51st pick, a guy that didn't play my rookie year to being a backup. Then Jamal get hurt. I start for 2-3 seasons with Denver, go start in DC, get hurt in Detroit, go to Minnesota halfway through, and then be in and out the rotation in Phoenix. So I've been on every pinnacle. I've done experience playing and getting 30 in the playoffs, and then not playing in the playoffs and just going to a role guy and, just waiting for your opportunity again. So that's why I say, like, they can come to me for any advice. It's not too much I haven't seen on and off the court in my 9 years in the NBA. So yeah, I just feel like Locked In Elite is a good program to want to play for, because I mean it's only gonna get bigger from here. I got a lot of good friends that in the NBA that's gonna hop on board, and I'm sure gonna come support, especially if we, get some wins and stuff like that. So it's gonna be exposure for everybody.
Now, I assume you'll be in Indy to support your team. You won't just be
100%.
So we'll see you there. I'm planning on being in Indy in day 2. So if you guys can get past the first game, I'll be there to cover you.
No, we
I definitely will be there.
Yeah, we get past that.
Day 1.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I assume that was the
Andrew,
answer.
What did I tell you last year when I had to play against the number 1 seeded team?
And you're like, we're beating them.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm big on the power of the tongue, speaking into existence. We're definitely going to get that game 1.
Yeah,
okay,
so hopefully we can get, some good work in prior to, so we looking more polished as a team, and that's our plan. So, we going to get things rolling, and, we going to pull up, dress to impress down there, man, in Indy, man. Let's get it.
Dress to impress.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so real quick, too, also, explain, because a lot of people who follow us are basketball fans, so they'll probably gonna know this, but actually, as you know, I'm not an IG guy. I'm a Twitter guy, which means I didn't even know this. We're talking about this because I'm not on IG. I'm on Twitter. Explain a little bit about the Locked In brand, since we asked about it. I want to know how the team congealed, what that brand means. Like, so let's talk about that for briefly.
I mean, Locked In is just, like I said, like, it's I got a lot of friends that's successful outside of ball, like yourself. You're not an NBA player, but you're still successful in your own field. So, my brand represents more than just being an athlete. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole point of Locked In. You could be locked in just throughout your day. You can do anything, but just be locked in and focused. So that's kind of like where the brand kind of came from. And I just wanted to be authentic. If you look at everything now, you hear everybody saying you gotta lock in, you gotta be locked in. But I was saying that back on my post in 2016, and nobody was on that locked emoji train, none of that. So that's why I went and go ahead and locked it and got in my LLC. So I feel like I trendset it. So I mean, it is what it is.
That is, it's funny because like, and I'm not old, but I'm old enough for certain things. I'm 46. You both are both younger and frankly better looking than me as well. But the point being is, I see those emojis and I'm like, oh, just use words. Because I'm an old funny.
Oh yeah.
Now, Tyonte, talking about locked in. What is the most locked in play in basketball? Is the chase down block just get? What is the most total locked in play in basketball, Tyonte?
Man,
the steal, the stop, the charge. What's the most locked in play?
I feel like the most locked in play in basketball, I don't necessarily feel like it got something to do with the play, but I feel like it's really getting through the adversity in that moment. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because something is going to go wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be about how you respond. That's part of being locked in. Even in life, when you're going through stuff, it's about how you're going to respond. You're going to stay locked in and get through that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like. That'll be my take on it.
Definitely. I mean, Monte, did you get the answer correct? Is that a good answer?
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. I mean, I was gonna say that, and also just preparation for me. Um, see, I'm trying to go into a game prepared.
Yeah.
It's just like I said, it can just be anything. Like at school, shit, you got an exam coming up. You got to study for it before you take it. So I feel like preparation, is better to lock in for me. You know what I'm saying? Just being prepared for when the adversity and the storm come that Tyonte talking about, you already know how to kind of weather it because you done prepare for it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think people undersell preparation for actually being in the moment. Because preparation's, I mean, being in the moment is important. Having the guts to take a
100%.
shot or
Mhm.
being in shape to take the play or to be
Yeah,
prepared in your life even. But preparation is
Yeah.
90% of the battle. If you come in with a plan,
100%.
you're just doing what you got to do when you get there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes it so much easier.
Staying mentally
Now,
poised.
yeah, mentally poised. Monte, I got to ask you real quick. This is a personal sort of like nonsense thing. So my very first sporting coverage, and this is a hobby. Again, I draw buildings for a living. This is something I do for giggles and beer money. It's just something dumb I do. But the reality is, so thanks for the time. But you played with one of my favorite all-time players. It was the very first press interview I ever gave. I covered the Boost Mobile Elite for Josh Pastner's first top recruit, which was your former teammate Will Barton, who also has a
Oh
TV
yeah.
history. He's a
Will the
Baltimore
thrill.
City NBA. Will the Thrill, one of my favorite all-time players, one of the
Yeah.
guttiest probably the guttiest Memphis Tiger to play under Josh Pastner. So what was playing with
Mhm.
Will like? I'm just curious. I met him. He's a nice guy. What was playing
Yeah.
with him like?
I mean, it was everything because he seen my whole career. Him and Kenneth Fareed came to my game. They was actually playing in Utah the next night. And I was like, yo, come to my game. And he was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. But he was the first one there in warm-ups, you know what I'm saying? He was hyping me up. He the one that used to always text me like, yo, you better than this guy. You better than this guy, bro. Just stay with it. Like I done seen the tables turn. And then 3 years later, me and him in the playoff series started in the backcourt against Klay Thompson and fucking Steph Curry. So
And give him the business for a bit.
exactly. So
Yeah.
we sat next to each other on the plane. So he seen me go from a two-way to get paid. Then we go to DC together. So everything was good to this day with me and Will. I was gonna ask him to come hoop, but I'm gonna give him this year off, let him do his retirement stuff, and then you might see a Will the Thrill next year, man.
Tell I'm going to say this now just because I am a Memphis fan. Tell Will to call me about a Tigers team and we'll talk about a Tigers team. And then me and Will will meet you and Tyonte in the finals. We'll call it again.
Okay.
And we'll throw the game and split the $1,000,000 and everybody watch that with money.
Hey, see, that's the thing though. They gonna see us on TV and see all that and be like, man, damn, that's special.
Yeah.
he might do that. You just never know. So
Yeah.
Will
it's a bunch of
Will
talent. Yeah.
Will when I'm Will Barton, I'm hearing I'm hearing Monte's calling you out. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know. That's what I'm hearing. Something about you're not man enough to get a TBT team. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not saying that. Will is a really solid player and a lot of fun to watch. All right, Tyonte. The page is screwed up right now, the TBT page, because they're updating because they just got a TST because they did their whole soccer thing, which whatever. Soccer, I don't care. But the thing being is like they are updating the page, but you guys are going to Indy, which is already a disaster region. Now, I love the confidence. I know you guys can win games, so I'm not worried about you guys, but Assembly Ball, the defending champs of Carmen's crew, the host team, the Fort Wayne champs, the Valpo team. Now, I have all confidence you guys can win some games, but did you guys have to pick the hardest region? Was that a choice or something?
So do you feel like that's the hardest region?
The regions are still getting screwed around with, so we're still looking. But yes, as of now, I think that's the hardest region.
Well,
especially hearing you're in it. That doesn't help the region, by the way.
Well. Jake asked me first. He gave me the option for West Virginia, Louisville.
Taken that.
It was West Virginia. Listen to me.
I know.
Listen to me. It was West Virginia, Louisville, Indianapolis, and Charleston, West Virginia. We took West Virginia, and then he called me 2 weeks later and said, would I be open to take Indianapolis? I said, what's wrong with West Virginia? He said there were some teams that, paid their money, in time, and they took that, but they were good teams, and he was honest with me. They end up becoming loaded up there.
Yeah.
So I asked him about the Indianapolis, and he told me, that, and he felt like Indianapolis wouldn't be that competitive due to
That was then. This is
the
now. Go ahead.
That was then, and this is now. But I mean, that was his. You only good as your last game. So that's what they going off of. Indiana got beat. Butler got blew out too. So
That's true. I was there for about one of them. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So that
Yeah.
that was that was coming from him. Now I didn't know O State was gonna be inside that region. I didn't know that, but I kind of figured.
That's a late ad. Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know that. But we were originally West Virginia. That was our original,
okay.
and he told me to take that region. That's what's crazy. Jake told me to take that region, and I took it. And then some things got changed up. But me personally, the toughest region to me right now is Louisville.
Okay, I mean, let's be clear. By the way, it doesn't really matter where you go because they're
all
good.
That's because I know more than what's being shown.
I would hope so. You're helping run a team. I don't know nothing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I get out of the emails, and like I know where teams is. You know what I'm saying? I know where teams are at. So, everything will be updated by tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. I think tomorrow's
is a deadline to have 8 players on the roster.
Yeah,
and then TBT they'll announce our team come Monday, June 16th.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I mean, a lot of that stuff too. I mean, shit, we ain't gotta beat all them teams. They gonna knock themselves out too.
That's a fair point. You don't have to beat all 7. You only got to beat 3
all those teams. Exactly. Yeah. We don't have to play all them. We just gotta beat three out of them 8. Well, we make 8, so 3 out of the 7.
Yeah, I mean, I know math. I do deal with math all day. I got you. I understand.
I'm very good with numbers.
Okay, let's end with this. Yeah, I know you're good at numbers. You can count to $1 million. All right, Monte, I know you gotta get out of here.
We're gonna make that $1.5 million, Andrew.
We'll get to that later. That's an interesting. We're not gonna talk about that tonight. You guys can talk about that when you start winning games. Come back. So Monte, I know you guys are busy, so I'm gonna let you go with this question.
Yeah.
You've played in the NBA. You've played in the playoffs. This is gonna be your first run as a TBT thing. You have a big fan base yourself as an NBA player, but you're not an alumni team. In this event, while you're a big name, you're a neutral. You're just a team at this point, oddly enough. So What is the case for the neutrals to follow Locked In?
What you mean? Like I don't know what you mean, like the neutrals, like the just follow.
No, so the people who just like ball, the people who aren't the Indiana fan, the Butler fan, the people who come to watch ball, why are they rooting for you or not one of the other teams?
Oh, I mean, because colleges is more of alumni. It's more so that's what it is. Y'all got y'all team chance. This is more so finding hungry guys who want a better opportunity and try to get some exposure, but letting you can do it if you stay all together and locked in. So I feel like any neutral person want to root for some guys who just want better for themselves and be on a better stage and opportunity. So that's what I want people to understand.
That's a really good answer. I think we're gonna leave it there. Tyonte, do you want to add to that, or is that good? Do you want to leave it there?
I mean, that's well said. We
a lot of underdogs, man.
We're gonna make some. We're gonna just let our game do the talking, Andrew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've seen not alumni teams make it far inside of TBT.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you know
the alumni team won 4 straight. OE won 4 straight.
Or should I say branded teams? I've seen branded teams being represented, by not only NBA players, but nonprofit organizations make a run.
Yeah, the Autism Army did a huge run that one year. They were fun, too. They were a fun team to watch. Yeah. Sideline Cancer does a run every year.
Sideline Cancer had a run.
Every year they have a run. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want to let you guys go and get on with your lives because you guys have been very generous with it. Tyonte Robertson, very good talk to you. It's a beautiful sky there. Monte Morris from his very nice Arctic Digest house. I love that. Better than I can draw. Gentlemen, thanks for your time.
All right, man. Yeah.
All right, Andrew.
And this has been Zoom the TBT, and we're signing off.
Yes, sir. All right, Tim.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hater. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.